Hey, what's going on? This is Muriel from the Sunshine Family. In this Costa Rica Safe, I'm going to touch on 3 important topics that I'm concerned about. This is stuff that's also not on the news, so you want to stick to the end of my video to hear me out. And why am I making this video and who am I? Well, I moved to Costa Rica myself in 2018 with my family, with husband and 2 kids, and from the Netherlands. So that's my weird accent. And I learned a lot along my way, settling in, living as a Costa Rica expat here on my own property. And am I the Costa Rica expert? Heck no, but I just share everything I've learned myself. And is Costa Rica safe is a question that is asked a lot. So before I'm going to touch on those things that you do want to hear about if you're planning on coming to Costa Rica, whether that's to travel through Costa Rica, to vacation in Costa Rica, but also if you're looking into living in Costa Rica, then please pay attention to this, because you know it can change your choice, the good way or the bad way, but I'll leave that up to you. And that's not to freak you out, but just to inform you. Okay, so who am I and what gives me the right to make these videos? Like I said, I say often, I'm not the Costa Rica expert. I just share everything I've learned myself, and not everything is shared on the news, guys. It's just a fact. So but I made a very tiny video so you learn more about what it is that I do for a living, what I do coach to people from all over the world, people who have a hard time running their business right now, how they can get more exposure. I have a coaching program. That's not what this video is about, but you will find more information below my video. Just press on one of the links you see there. But here you go, a little compilation video about my family and myself. Okay, let's just dive right in. And if you wonder, what are you doing? Well, I'm actually walking from the place that I live myself to the other place on my property. That's the casita that's also for rent. I'm actually putting it on Airbnb today because it was too much hassle to connect with everyone separately. I really do not need Airbnb because I have enough people finding the casita, but it's more handy and convenient if people just can book the nights they want to stay. But that's for something else. So I was walking here to check because there's no one in there right now, to see if everything is still standing and clean and if there's no dogs, if my dogs are not walking in and out of the house. Everything looks fine, as you can see, really cozy. So this is a good place to make the video and to start touching on what I believe is not safe in Costa Rica. Number 1, really one of the first things that you stumble upon, depending on which area you're going to, is the bad conditions of the roads is really threatening the tourism and just the welfare of people overall, not just for travelers and tourists, but also for people who live here, locals and expats. Why are we concerned? Well, the area where I live is one of the worst areas according to roads. I have no words for it. Literally, the roads, some pieces of road are just look like the moon, like all craters in there. And buses are driving like this normally, but they go like this because of all the holes. And there's lots of construction works going on. So a lot of new people are coming to Costa Rica are building, are taking their stuff, so the roads are used more and more and more, and the trucks are using the roads more and more and more, but the condition of the roads is, the infrastructure is getting worse. So as if the infrastructure is not coping with the demand of, you know, what the roads are used for, and this really is causing very dangerous situation. Actually, on a daily basis, a lot of people die or are in serious accidents, not just locals, but also tourists and buses and stuff. And I want you to know, if you're planning on coming to Costa Rica as a tourist, as a traveler, just, you know, rent a decent car. Rent a car if you're coming to more remote areas like where I live, Santa Teresa, Montezuma, the worst infrastructure according to roads. You need a car that's high above the ground, because all the pit holes and all the holes, they just break off the bumper, literally. Like, I see cars at the side of the roads who just fell in those how do you say that, those what's the word for it, you know, at the side of the roads where all the water falls in. Well, they fall in deep holes at the side of the road. Dugs, I forgot the word. Help me out here, comment below. And that's no fun. The moment that you drive in Santa Teresa, it's like a suicide ride. In the morning when I drive to the gym, I live at the countryside, so I live like 10 minutes drive from Santa Teresa, and I'm in the same wave as all the workers. They travel more or less on motorbikes to work, and it's a suicide road. If you see how people, okay, so the conditions of the road, I can make a lot of examples, but just be prepared. Also, if you're wanting to move to Costa Rica, depending on where you live, so this is not accurate in San Jose areas, that there's more or less concrete roads there, but everything outside of the town, the bigger towns and the cities, it's disastrous. You can read articles about that in the Tico Times, on the news and stuff. So you have to adjust your vehicle, really, especially if you have kids and stuff. Have a good vehicle, and buying a vehicle is a challenge on its own in Costa Rica. So I don't want to be rude, but like, be prepared. It may be a challenge for you. You could be in a dangerous situation. So drive safe, don't drive in the dark, drive in a safe vehicle, take your time when you're driving, never be in a hurry, etc., etc. Now, are you ready for number 2? According to that, I believe Costa Rica is not safe. And this is something that was not, I couldn't find anything about it on the news, but I heard it from one of my best friends here whose kids are in school, an international school. There is stuff happening that you don't hear about, but they closed the schools here in whole Costa Rica for 1.5 weeks, if I'm correct, at least for a week, based on the danger of spreading diseases. And I think they called it COVID. So the schools were closed, because the stories go, and I heard that word of mouth from people who are working in hospitals and stuff, that all the hospitals are full with kids between 0 and 4 with weird symptoms. It looks like COVID symptoms. Stories go that all these kids were vaccinated, but there's a high number of sick kids. That worries Costa Rica people and Costa Rica schools, so they decide to close the doors of the schools. And just comment below if I'm wrong or right or whatever, but I'm just sharing what I see around me, right? And you deserve to hear this, especially when it's not on the news, especially if you want to be Costa Rica expat. You know, my kids do online school. I homeschool my kids. That means that I'm literally I stepped away from everything that's happening in the schools, because also now the schools are open again, and they need to wear mandatory mouth protection again. According to safety, is it safe to not have enough oxygen? Is it safe to go to school in Costa Rica? You know, I leave that up to you. I'm just sharing the message, what I see. Is Costa Rica safe? Are the schools safe to go to? I don't dare to answer you that. I just want to share information so you can do more research about it. If you're looking into moving to Costa Rica, approach specific schools that you were looking into and ask for their how they deal with stuff, right? And how they inform parents. Is it like is there a active board? I do know that can make a difference, right? I also know that a lot of expats are pulling their kids out of schools right now because they're done. You know, they have jobs, they work outside of their houses, and to just hear a very short term, okay, school's closed for 10 days, all these parents have problems because they have to go to work, right? By the way, that's one of the reasons why I always share, that's the best moment for me to share. Come on, I work online for a reason, to be independent and free, to not be depending on, oh shoot, the school is closed, now what am I gonna do with my kids, no one is home, right? Or whatever is happening, that you can make your living just being independent and free from any job or government whatsoever or economy. If you want to learn more, just click one of the links below my video to learn more. But the situation in those schools, and just also the other day I was going to the pharmacy, it was last week, and I didn't have a mouth protection with me because I love my oxygen, and you know, we just don't do that anymore. I thought I was not allowed in the pharmacy without it, so they handed me because I really needed to buy some medication, so gladly they just sold me one, so it was no problem. But I want you to know this. So how safe is Costa Rica? Is Costa Rica safe? Take this information with you in establishing how you think about stuff. And then my third point of attention, according to is Costa Rica safe or unsafe, is that I saw an article in the Tico Times recently, ticotimes.com, I think, or ticotimes.cr. You can read the online paper of Costa Rica News, that the Costa Rican people are really worried and feel not safe. The more people in Costa Rica don't feel safe than safe. And that's concerning, I think. So what do we see? What do I see around me from here, from my mango farm, right? From my own home. Yes, there's a lot of crime, okay? In this time, it is rainy season right now where I live. There's not so much work, although there's a lot of construction here in this area, but there's less construction because of the rain. So a lot of projects are on hold. There's a lot of crime according to, how do you say that? Thieves, tools are being stolen. People who are leaving Costa Rica right now in the most rainiest season of the year to visit their families. Not everyone has a house sitter, and houses are being emptied literally by thieves. If it's well known that you are not there and you don't have a house sitter, it's done. That's according to crime what's happening here. But that's overall, that's not just recently, but I want you to know this because I have friends, they recently moved to Costa Rica. They went visiting friends and family back in the United States or somewhere else. I think they came back and everything was gone. Everything. Including jewelry, including furniture, including materials like washing machines, and everything was gone. Their whole house was empty. That's big crime, right? But also according to feeling threatened on the streets, a lot of women feel that way. That's in the bigger cities. San Jose, when I'm in San Jose to run errands whatsoever or to do formalities, and when I always use Uber in San Jose. I hate to drive in bigger cities, and I found out that those doors are locked when we are in certain areas. So yeah, there is crime in Costa Rica, and according to that, no, I don't. According to safety, it's not safe. But we have that in every big town, every big city in the world. I come from a big city in the Netherlands, and there's crime there as well. So, but it's concerning that the feeling of unsafety has grown according to the Costa Rican numbers. And also I saw a petition, for example, in my town that there is said, again, I'm just observing, I'm not the expert, right? But that said that the Court of Justice is not operating how it should work. For example, so a friend of mine put up a petition because there were 3 situations where basically the the police doesn't do a thing. The Court of Justice doesn't do a thing according to abuse of a young girl that was abused by her father, and the mom knew about it. The whole town knew about it. They told the police, and it was brought in front of the court, and they didn't do anything about it. So that was something that concerning a lot of people in my community. Ooh, sorry about that. Here in my mouth. And then also there were some other situations like this. And well, you know, I'm a woman. I have a daughter. And it doesn't matter, even if you're a man and you don't have kids. I think you want to feel safe. It's hard for me to say anything about it. I think you should create your own safety by feeling mentally strong. For example, I just want to provide a little solution for it, although I cannot solve the problem if it's really, well, I believe it is a problem in Costa Rica, but not really different than in other bigger cities. Again, it's not just a Costa Rica problem, so it should not be the reason to stay away from Costa Rica. None of these examples, actually, because I am still very happy in Costa Rica. I want to state that very clear. But I am a black belt jiu-jitsu. I have a black belt jiu-jitsu, and I practice martial arts for basically my whole life. I practice kickboxing, boxing and stuff. I do know that, of course, what you're going to do against a gun to your head, but feeling safe that you can protect yourself creates some kind of unvulnerability. So basically, according to the law of attraction, when you feel strong and that you can protect yourself, prevents that you will be in a situation where crime will come to you. I've experienced that when I was younger in the bigger city in The Hague, when I was really training a lot of jiu-jitsu. When I went out in discotheques, all my friends were sometimes squeezed in the butt on the dance floor, and it never happened to me. Why? I don't know. It could be energy, the way that you look, right? If you do martial arts and can protect yourself. But come on, let's be real. It should be safe, right? So, but I don't know what to say about it. I just want to tell you that there was an article in the Tico Times about that more and more people feel not safe in Costa Rica. So you can look that stuff up. And yeah, I can go on and on and on, but these were the three most important things according to, is Costa Rica safe, yes or no? That I believe Costa Rica is absolutely not safe. However, if you combine it with all the benefits of Costa Rica, if I compare The Hague in the Netherlands, where I come from, again, big city, according to these three things, yes, the roads are super well built in the Netherlands, but the traffic, there are so many people living there, it's crazy. There's lots of death in traffic there as well. So we have a lot of holes in the road and bad road conditions. In the Netherlands, we have the best infrastructure, but still a lot of people get killed because there's just so many people using traffic. According to crime, there's crime everywhere. Here, it's really not more than anywhere else, I believe. And according to COVID and stuff, you know, what can I say about it? I'm not going to say anything about it. I just want you to know that here, once in a while, the schools are just closed for some kind of reason. And have I seen all those sick kids in the hospital with my own eyes between 0 and 4? No, I have not. But, you know, those rumors are there for a reason. But it's up to you to do your own research. I am here to just pass it on. So if it was helpful, let me know. If you have things to add, let me know. If you have things to add, to ask, let me know. You can just hit me up on Messenger. Information about that you will find below my videos in the description, but also you can just leave a comment. I will delete very aggressive and very negative and hateful comments, which rarely happen, but I'm just saying this is not a political discussion place whatsoever. I just provide value, and let's be kind for each other, right, and respectful. I want to contribute to the information about Costa Rica, because I'm very happy in Costa Rica. Very, very, very happy. I want to state that again to finish my video with. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the thumbs up, for sharing my video, and for your subscription and hitting the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And who knows, I'm going to meet you one day in Costa Rica. Bye for now. This was Muriel.